it is impossible to make videos with these dogs around because I swear to God, every time I pick up the camera, they start either playing aggressively with one another and being super loud, or they start barking at something. Right now, they're in the guest room. They come into my house. I'm in my office. They go into my guest room and they just sit on the bed and look out the window and they just bark at people. This one right here, he the worst one. Look at Max. He the best one. Look at Coles. He the worst one. Yeah. So what was I talking about? Lean bulking? Gaintaining? Something like that. Maybe I should just go downstairs and just see what's good. What's going on, everyone? I wanted to make a quick video and just kind of sit down and talk to the camera candidly about sort of the transition that I am getting ready to embark on as I move from, a recomp period, as I've reintroduced the gym. I've been back in the gym for about 6 weeks now, and I'm getting ready to transition from sort of a recomp approach into a dedicated lean bulk or gaintaining period. I've seen multiple videos recently, actually, where people have talked about how you should not bulk. Basically, it's like a clickbait title telling you shouldn't bulk to tell you you should bulk slowly. And that the approach you should take in order to bulk slowly is to simply eat at maintenance and then use your training as a tool or as a vehicle to elicit a response that's going to give you muscle growth and help you to make gains. And the premise of that is that the hardest part of attaining, a good physique is getting really lean. That's the worst part, right? The mindset, and I think sort of the approach there that they're talking about, is that why take all that hard work that you put in order to get really lean and throw that to the wayside just to bulk up? And I agree with it to a certain extent because, I have sort of embarked on like a 1.5 year long cut where, it's not like I was in a deficit for a 1.5 year straight. Obviously I went through some diet breaks where I would eat closer to maintenance. And that was really good for my sanity. But, my goal for the last 1.5 years has been to get lean. Even for me now, I've kind of struggled shifting my mindset over towards, a mindset of trying to put on mass because I've spent so much time trying to get lean. The last thing I want to do is just balloon back up and lose all my definition, because that's, in the past, that's kind of what I've always done. I always start out the first month or so saying I'm going to do a lean bulk, saying I'm going to try to minimize fat gain. And ultimately the number on the scale moves slowly. And so in my mind, of course, I tell myself, you need to eat more. And before you know it, I'm eating 4,000 calories plus a day. I'm baking brownies 2 or 3 nights a week. I'm crushing 1,500 calories a day worth of snacks. Just eating like complete shit. Knowing damn good and well that the mass that I'm putting on is not good mass. Prior to sort of the 1.5 year long cut that I embarked on, I had bulked up to 195 pounds. And I had done that in about a 6-month period. And I think I started around 175. So I put on about 20 pounds in 6 months. And as far as muscle mass to fat, the ratio there, I can't really say. I honestly can't really say because there was too much fat for me to... Woo! Dakota! What are you doing? There was too much fat. Oh my God, guys, I'm trying to get away from you so I can vlog. I'm trying to make a video. And you disrespected me while I'm trying to make this video. I gotta make this video right now. You will not let me make this video. I wanna make a video. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check. Are you done? Are you done? I'm gonna have to check back in. I'm gonna have to check back in with you guys later. Not really sure where I was at. I was talking about how I would just eat like shit and would never really do a proper lean bulk. And so over the past 1.5 years, as I've really locked in my nutrition with that goal of getting really lean, I've just gotten really good at tracking and just being conscious and making good choices as far as my foods go. My calories for the purpose of this lean bulk are going to be set at 2,800 for the time being, which for me is going to be, sometimes it's like right at maintenance, sometimes it's even slightly below maintenance, but most of the time it's like just above maintenance. I would say my maintenance as of recent is around 2,700. And so it's my hope that if I can eat consistently around that number, I might even give myself more of a range, like a 26 to 20, not 20, 26 might be too low, like a 2,800 to 3,000 calorie range. And as long as I fall somewhere within that range, I'll be happy with it, because again, there's not really any consistency to my total daily energy expenditure. Some days I'm super active, I'll burn over 3,000 calories. Like today, for instance, is a rest day. I still set a goal for myself to get 10,000 steps in. Most days I surpass that. I've got 2 huskies, so we like to walk a lot. And so, on a rest day like today, I will likely burn like in that 26 to 2,700 range. So on a day like today, I would probably aim for like 2,800 instead of the 3,000. And then on days when I'm more active, or training days where I'm lifting particularly heavy, I like to eat a little bit more on my lower body days. I just find myself wanting a little bit more food. So I might go closer to 3,000 on those days. We'll see. When I'm trying to bulk, I like to set a minimum of 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight, which for me in this case is around 180. I weigh about 170 right now. I weighed about 164 in the spring when I was at my absolute peak leanness. I was at 164. Got up to around 165, 166, 167 during the summer, but still maintained a good level of leanness. And when the gyms reopened about 6 weeks ago, I was around probably 160, 168-ish or so. I think I started out about 172, but I mentioned in that video that I'd eaten, a large surplus of carbs the night before. So, there were a lot of things that could have contributed to that one day, or that outlier in scale weight being at 172. Because now I, weigh less than I did then, and, was consuming more calories over the last 5 to 6 weeks than I was, in the weeks prior, where I was still aiming to eat in a slight deficit. And so, definitely was able to accomplish a legitimate recomp. And I talked about kind of the effects on both my metabolism and my energy and just my physique overall that occurred during that recomp period, because I was in that unique situation of being heavily detrained after 6 months of not being able to go to the gym. So my starting spot for this lean bulk is a good one. I'm definitely very lean. I'm the leanest I've ever been at this body weight at 170. So that's, a personal best in its own. And so I'm going to be running a 16-week program. My chest has always been a weak point in my physique. It's obviously grown over the years, but it has grown in equal proportion to everything else. And so, when you have a muscle group that's lagging, the only way to sort of get it to catch up to everything else is to train it with disproportionate volume, right? So I'm increasing the volume proportionately across the board. I like to do reverse Bierman training for my compound lifts. And so deadlifts, back squats, and overhead press are particularly taxing for me, both from a cardiovascular standpoint and then just the neural fatigue from doing those heavy compound movements. And so I typically will only do 2 sets of those. I will do 1 heavy set in the 4 to 6 rep range, and then 1 for a little bit more volume in the 6 to 8 rep range. And I'll do that both when I'm cutting and when I'm trying to maintain. So when I say increase volume across the board, I'm just going to add in a 3rd set to all 3 of those exercises. I was already doing a 3rd set for both flat and incline bench, but the disproportionate increase on the chest is going to come on my 2 chest days. So right now, previously I was running a 4-day split. I'm going to continue to run a 4-day split. I like to pair chest, back, and bis together, and then shoulders, legs, and tris. I do 2 days of training, 1 day off, 2 days of training. So I hit every muscle group twice. They're 2 different workouts. So when I say I hit them all twice, I don't mean I'm doing the same workout twice a week, for the chest, back, and bis, shoulders, legs, and tris respectively. They're different workouts. And so in order to get that disproportionate stimulus, that disproportionate increase in volume, I'm adding in an additional exercise on both of those chest days. And I'm going to take sort of an outside-in approach. And what I mean by that is one day I'm going to focus on a fly type motion to sort of target the outer portion of the pec. And then on the other day, I'm going to do more of a close grip type motion to target more of the inner part of the pec. And so I'm going to divide the training program up into 2 phases, 8 weeks each, so 16 weeks total. Going to run a 4-month lean bulk and then kind of see where I'm at. And if I want to continue to bulk and either rerun the current program or transition to something else, maybe emphasize another muscle group, I'll have the opportunity to do that at that time. But the first 8 weeks, I'm going to target the upper chest, and then the second 8 weeks, I'm going to target the lower chest. So I'm going to have that continuous and consistent disproportionate increase in volume on the chest specifically, but I'm going to target one section of the chest at a time, so that way I'm not overdoing it, and overexerting myself. I don't want to try to target both parts of the chest at the same time. I just think that would be too taxing taxing. So I'm opting to divide it up into 2 8-week phases, and we'll see how that goes. You know, if I get to the end of 16 weeks and like I see progress, and progress for me is going to be disproportionate gains to the chest versus everything else. Obviously I want everything to grow, but I want the chest to grow a little bit more. So there's a good possibility, you know, I might just rerun it. And what I might do, because it's, for me at least, my upper chest seems to be lagging the most. I might do my 8 weeks of upper chest, 8 weeks of lower chest, evaluate, maybe do a brief sort of deload period for a week or two, eat closer to maintenance, and then transition back in for another 8 weeks of targeting the upper chest. But you know, only time will tell. We'll see what happens. Pretty excited about it. That's kind of a brief overview of both the nutrition and training that I'm going to be utilizing for the duration of this lean bulk. Alright guys, so I just want to take a second to film a quick outro. If you made it to this point in the video, make sure you comment down below and let me know. I really appreciate you guys who watch these videos from start to finish. And hopefully you found some value and have kind of a deeper understanding of my approach to this lean bulk. And so if you've made it to this point, I want to say I've actually compiled my entire training program into an ebook, and I want to send it to you for free. So even if your goal isn't necessarily to emphasize growth on your chest, there's still a lot of value in there. I go into detail, explicit detail, on all of the different training principles that I utilize for this program, and then I also break down the nutrition and show you how you can calibrate your there's Max. I also break down how you can calculate your goal calories and macros to do a lean bulk of your own. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you throw it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. In the first link in the description, just click on that, enter your name and email, and I'm going to send that ebook to you right away. See you guys in the next one.